now.
Hello, my name is Ines. I'm Portuguese. I currently live and work in the UK. I'm actually like a social care community worker by background, but then when I arrived to the UK, I wanted to actually invest in a self-taught artist career, so I started to work with a lot of different charities. I work with Inspire Libraries as well to do some workshops for children and families. It's the first time I'm trying something online, apart from any training that I delivered before to children. Um, but in terms of arts and crafts, I'm more an in-person person. So, however, I do appreciate some feedback in the end. If you could give me that feedback, so I can improve that as well. So this workshop is going to be basically about you imagining yourself as a city you live in, but trying to think about to have some hope for the future. So if you were that city that you live in, exactly how you manage it and how you feel about your city every day. How would you think about that in a way that you could change or transform the city you live in to be in a different city or to live in a city that um, would give you more hope for the future? So I think every day we pass through the cities, through the streets, any gardens we see, and I think we all think that we wanted more greener spaces. We would like to live in a city with less pollution, less noise. So I I ask you to think about all of that, all those thoughts that you sometimes don't share, but they are there, and put that all in a thing today. So you could be using poetry, you can be using your own words, your own feelings. You could be just using images, so you could do collage, you could do doodling, you could do drawing, anything. So I'm open that you can use anything that you have in your hands now, um, any pencils, anything, or just just colored pencils, anything that you can have. Um, I'm mindful that some people may have access needs. I don't know if that's the case. I don't do any sign language, but I can type in the chat if people want to be a bit more like I can break down what we're going to do. Um, and then if you can let me know your name and your pronouns, if you want to share, or if you don't want to share, that's fine. You can have a nickname. And you can also leave your camera off if you want, but I would like you to be able to join and show us your face if you can. I'm also not going to ask you to share your thing if you don't want to, but that would be great if you could share. I understand it can be very personal to think about your own thoughts and your idea of what your future city would be like, but I think it's very good if we could discuss that in the end. Um, in the end, I'm going to ask you to think about a good thing that you could take from this workshop that you could change tomorrow, or you could put in place in your life tomorrow to make that dream city come true in the future, if you can think about it, let's say. Yeah, so this is the idea. I think anyone can create. I come from a background very different from, math and science and so on. But I never lost sight of my creativity, and I think everyone is creative enough to do anything. So please bear that in mind. So yes, basically, I don't know if you have an A4 page. If you don't, that's fine. Uh, for the zine, we usually divide it in eight, so we don't actually need to draw the line, but I did so it's easier. So you will fold the page like this. I think everyone can see. And then you will fold it again like this. It's easier if you do like this. And then like this again. I hope this has been helpful. I cannot see a picture, so I don't know if she can understand or see what I'm doing. Okay. And then you will basically fold all in one page. So you can use I will use my own hands, but fold it very nicely. You really need to be folded so you can see the lines. Because this is going to be, it could be a comic book as well, if you want to tell a story about what we're going to do. And then I'm going to ask you to do something strange, but don't worry, I will explain. I put some tiny little numbers here on the pages. And so, if I can show you this. This one will be number 1, as you can see. So basically, not the top one, but the one, this one here, number 1. And then the next one to that one is number 2. If you can put the numbers, that would be great. And then the one on top of number 2 is number 3. Oh no, sorry. No, let's start again. So number 1, number 2, number 3. Next to number 2 is number 3. On top of number 3 is number 4. On side of number 4 is number 5. And then number 6 on side of number 5. On the side of number 6 is number 7. And if everyone is following, the side number 1, so on this right corner here, is number 8. Yeah? Online is a bit tricky. If I could see you guys, that would be helpful. Yeah? Good. Yeah, okay. So, I did forget about something, sorry. So the zine, for us to be able to do the zine and to fold, and I will explain how to do it, you need to just, with a little scissor, just opening the first, that's why I use the numbers. So you draw a line between number 1 and 2, and then you rip that part, the middle. So you're going to do something like this, like a square. Yeah. And then I know how to do it, but I always struggle with it. So when you're doing a square, you need to do this, if that makes sense. Yeah. Right. And now you're going to have your numbers. And you're going to start your story. So if you fold it like a little book, does anyone need me to write in the chat? Like, because this is going to be like a storybook, I can just say. So imagine if you are, I could start with mine. I imagine I'm like a very sick city, so I'm very ill. I'm always coughing. There's loads of, sickness around me, loads of noise, like, oh my God, I'm so stressed every time after work. And I want to get better. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel able to use my creativity every day, but sometimes, there's not enough money to do that. There's not enough funding to do that. So sometimes I don't have enough time to offload after work and be able to invest in my creativity. That would be my current city where I live in. So everything becomes too much. And I want you to think about also the barriers of your own well-being. So if you are that city, everything becomes too much. So I want you to think about all that cluster that you live in every day. That would be part of your city, unfortunately. So you can either choose a character, and you can choose a name for that character that lives in that city, an age, a pronoun, or you can just not name it. And you still can choose a character, you can draw the character that lives in the city. Or you can just pretend you are the city itself. So I'll give you 5 minutes, and you're going to do that in the first one. I can show you some examples. I did this with children and adults one time, just to test the idea. And this person, she drove, and she's like a poet. She's very good. So she did some kind of drawings and doodling, and then she used collage, pictures of her family, and then in the end she wrote a poem about what would be the best city, for her to live in. A little child, she just did this. No words, nothing. She cannot write, so she didn't write anything. She just literally doodled, and she did some collage. Actually, she's 4, and she didn't do anything apart from cutting magazines and so on. Another person, an adult, he didn't want to write anything. He was just very no art. He has no artistic skill whatsoever. But he did participate, and he just did like he wrote down some things. He wrote like a road because he lives like in a road. He lives nearby a road that he doesn't have anything like around. It's just like a very ugly city where he lives in, and his road is very filthy, full of pollution and things like that. So he basically drove down the city he lives in, and then he wrote down some things. He didn't draw, and he had some pictures of where he wants to live in the future, Spain. And he basically says in the end that for him to make that dream come true, he needs to basically set his own online business and buy the tickets. So this is just some examples, okay? So I'll give you 5 minutes to think about the character or to, write some words about where you're living now.
Just on the front page, Ines.
Yeah, number one.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry to be asking. Um, hello? Hello? Oh, sorry. I had a friend that she did sign in yesterday, and she put her email and so on. And she said oh yeah, my sister actually from Portugal. She signed herself and she sent an email. She said now she cannot get into the link. Is it the same link, or do you send another one?
This should be the same link. I'll see. She's signing in from Portugal, did you say? I'll adjust the settings so that she can definitely get in. One sec.
I think she just signed, like in Eventbrite, you have to sign into the website. She's Portuguese, so she may not understood that she actually needs time for the workshop. Maybe.
Sorry, just a quick question. It was a character and something about the city that they live in.
So if you are choosing a character, you can just draw the character now, because then for people that actually draw the character, you're going to then design the environment or the habitat that the character lives in the next one. So you can just draw the character if you want to.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I've just added Portugal to the accepted kind of sign-in places. So I've done what I can on this end. But as one of the safety measures for this workshop, I think we had to said that you have to have a Eventbrite account to be able to sign into the workshop link.
Yeah, she did that. So she signed an account. That's what she's saying. I did sign into an account, so I could actually, because she understood she had to sign into an account. But she did all the steps, and but yeah.
So I've changed the settings now. If she tries again, she might be more fortunate. I'll also just email the link directly to yourself, so you can forward that on to her. But yeah, let's see if either of those things work. What am I saying? You already have access to the link. I've emailed it across to you. So if you wanted to send that link directly to her,
Yeah,
no,
I'm doing that.
you're one step ahead of me. Is it Antonia by any chance?
Yes.
Just letting her in.
Oh, okay. So in the next one, number two, I don't want to rush it, but I don't want to delay too much, and then we cannot share. You're gonna basically put the things that you like about the city you live in. So all the positive stuff that you think about every day. So now we're gonna live away, we're gonna move away from the cluster and the negative stuff about the city you live in, and let's focus a bit on the things that you find most pleasurable in your life that can relate to the city you live in. It could be green spaces, it could be something more emotional, anything that makes you happy in the life and in the city you live in, things that bring you joy. You can just write or you can draw. If you feel inspired, you can do a poem. Or you can just do quotes like, I feel inspired when, I don't know, when I go to a specific coffee shop that I have in my city, or when I meet with a friend in this place, or something that can make you think about your city in a positive way. Then in the number three, you're gonna have like the bad stuff. So everything that could be a barrier for that character or for the city you live in. So if you have created a character and you think about the environment the character lives in, what are the things that could be the barrier for that character or city to evolve, if they were to get better, if they were to get healthier or happier, what are the things that you think are being the barriers or the cluster for that happiness? Basically, what you don't like in the world. You put everything there. Is anyone writing anything?
My character has tried to walk into the square and discovered that there is a German Christmas, Easter, October market that's stopping them sitting in the square.
Amazing. So you do have words. Yeah, I'm wondering if anyone has words or if people just drawing. So I was going to ask you to do something next, but if not, then I can do something different. Does Nafisa has words? Shan, do you have words? Did you choose a character?
Yeah, I don't have too many words though. And also like I've only got like pencils, so I don't know how well you can see it.
Oh, I love it.
But my character is a robot that gets really excited about all the coffee shops.
Okay.
And he goes into a coffee shop and then he realizes that he can't drink. That's the problem he's got.
Okay. Why can't you not drink?
Because he's not got a mouth.
Oh, okay.
He's a robot. Yeah, it's like he realizes he's not set up for this.
So that's perfect because the next one, the number 4 would be like, could you describe how your character or how does your city feel? So by not having a mouth, but he really wants to drink something. So it's like he loves to go to coffee shops, but he cannot actually do the, one of the things he might find most pleasurable, which is drink. How does that make it feel, your robot?
He's not pleased. Okay. Is that the next page?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
if you could write like 3 or 4 quotes about how positively and negatively those kind of things that you draw or you wrote make your character feel or make your city feel. And it could be things that you think about every day. So like you go out of your house, you're fine, you're very calm, and then suddenly traffic, or suddenly, oh, that neighbor, or and you think about, oh, I cannot, it's just, I think this space is also a way for you guys to just upload stuff. So I will never see it. No one will ever see it. It's just for you, and it's your own zine, personal zine to all those things. So even you can just brainstorm feelings, emotions.
You've been drawing, Ines.
Well, I'm a bit lost in everything that I have here because I already did this one yesterday just to think about, you know, my first one is this. So let me just see if I can see myself. So this represents Nottingham to me because I think Nottingham is very woman related. And since I came here, I started to go to so many women events that I think I became even more feminist. And I think Nottingham is very feminist and cultural. So this is my first one, represents Nottingham. And then because I wanted the second one to be about things that I like. So there's the charity, which, funny or not, their logo is also City Behind Walls. That's why I brought that kind of theme for today. So this is like this gentleman is part of the charity that I support, supports refugees in Nottingham. So I started already to write some things because I really like to write stuff. So I wrote down like, we look inside so we can thrive, like looking within so you can actually see who you are, things like that. And then what else did I do? And then the next one, which was barriers. So I have a lot of dreams, but I know there are a lot of barriers, not being from here, being a migrant. I think funding, I think not having an art degree, all of that, I think are barriers. But so that's my barriers for me in my city and where I live in. That's my barriers page. And then I wrote down in the barriers page, because I also like poetry, I wrote down, dreams that unfold create a life that shines. So as if we follow our dreams, sometimes we start to shine a bit more. What else do I have? And then quotes. I did this one in college. Then, don't ask for permission to exist. And then I'll tell you the other two that we still have.
Yeah, lovely.
So 7 p.m. Okay. So, did everyone manage to do the quotes, or was it a bit hard? Because I could give you some prompts. You could write about being proud of something. So the characters could write about being proud of things. So although, you can be very unhappy about a lot of things, there are a lot of things that you still can be proud of. So we can write down, I'm proud of living here because of this, but I'm still angry. So you could do like opposite. You could say, I'm proud about this, but I want this to be better. And then you can see your brain switching from one side to the other, so you can look for positives and negatives at the same time. It's like a balance. So you could have joy, pleasure, and positivity, and in the other pole you can have like frustration, sadness, because you know and you feel the impact that being angry about your city. How does that make you feel? Only you know. So let's honor that as well. So it can be a bit tricky to think about. And then in the next one, we may be thinking about like what the what the negative things make you stop from doing. So it's like the negative things will have an impact on you, on your well-being, maybe on your sleep, on your eating, all of those type of things that make you you. So how does that impact you, or how does that stop you from doing things that you wish you could do? Yeah, if you have any dreams, if you would like to change anything in your life, how much of those barriers are actually the barriers to achieving that, if that makes sense. So if I don't have a mouth and I really want to drink drinks, um, how does that make me feel and how much that impacts me? I don't know. I'm not sure. I need to think about being a robot. How would that? Because I think I like that idea, Shan. I really do. I'm just thinking about how could I, because the issue today is that we are not going to think about solutions. We're just going to think about the issue itself, not trying to make a solution based workshop. Um, More to think about how we feel already about stuff. And the next one, if you think about if you had a magic wand and you could, wipe all those barriers, all the things that are impacting your city or your character. What would that magic wand do? So, like, now you can try to draw or write a poem or just doodle your ideal character or your ideal city. So, I don't know if the robot then would have a mouth or not. You can try. Anything that you would like your ideal city to be. You can, now you have the space to do that. People can just brainstorm as well. So like if I'm talking about stuff and your brain is jumping into words, just write the words down. That could be your line. I had a person that just did that. And then in the same one, I want you to write or to
Sorry,
draw.
just check. What page are we on? I'm just checking.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. If you know, we are in the page. I think we are in the page 6 or 7. Okay.
On page 6.
Yeah, number 6. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
You made it on page 7.
That's okay. Don't worry. It's fine. Because I was going to say number 6 or 7. Where are you? Don't worry. Just leave one. If you still have one, don't do the next exercise. I'm going to. That's okay. Do you still have one left? Okay. So in the, not the last one, but the one before that one, if you can still write something before we go to the last one, which is like the quality of yours, something you're really good at. And now don't think about the character, the robot, or the city, just you as a person, something that you're good at. Can be anything. Can be cooking. Anything. So for example, I combine those in mine. If I had a magic wand, if I could, I'm not very good with that, but I know that's the best quality I have, and if I can improve that, then things would be better in my world or in my city. So I like eyes. I don't know. I've been drawing eyes since I'm like 5, and my mom always asks me, "Why do you always draw eyes?" And I don't know why, but I wrote down. So I did a lot of colors about eyes, and I put here, just be yourself, and the world will follow. So in my idea of my future city or whatever I want to achieve, if I can just be a bit more myself, the world will follow, you know, and I will be able to ask people to do the same, and so they will also be themselves more, and they will probably be more happy and achieve their dreams. So that's my idea. So you can combine like your magic wand of what you would like to achieve for your city or to change with your best quality. But yeah, you know, you could be a very good cooker, then use that. And then in the last one, or maybe I'll give a bit more time. I'll give more 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Yeah.
Make these drawings look good.
I really like your robot. It's very creative.
Your mouth, that is the question.
So the next one is very personal. You don't have to share. So it's like um, if you did write down like a list of barriers. I had some people before that they wrote down like a list of things that they really didn't like in the city. So it's like rubbish in the floor, no access to GP when I'm home. Public transport is, I'm not going to say the word because it's a bad word. Very, very low access to, very, well, in these cities, true in Portugal, especially where my mom lives. So, not very good access for people with physical disabilities to access the GP. So then it's a mess. People going there with a wheelchair. And so the last one would be very personal because on top of the list of things that were barrier to your living area or where you live or to your city, you're going to write something that maybe you can do tomorrow to contribute to the change you want to see. And that can be very personal. A tiny change that you could do tomorrow, anything. A change in your routine, a change in something. Not asking you to do that. You can just write it there. Tiny change you could do to your environment, your city, or in your life. You don't have to do it. Like, so for example, for this child, the magic wand would have. She wanted to have a lion in her house, so that was her dream. What she wrote down in the end was that buying a cat. So we need to be realistic. You don't have a lion in the house. We can visit the zoo, you know, for example. So something that you could do. So I will share mine. For me, it would be try over the weekend because I don't have a lot of time during the week, unfortunately. And there's part time if I can do that. I will try to join as a volunteer a charity to try and support more manifests and more, more support for women in Nottingham. I missed one of the parades they did, which is Nottingham Orange, and such as that I can go. It was really sad. So one of the goals is definitely going there next year. So I did this. The femme, if people can see, that's little Mona Lisa, and yeah, anything representing women. So that would be my goal. I'm not sure if I will do it. I have it in my mind, so when I can, I will definitely do it. Anyone wants to share? Does the robot have a mouth, Chan?
No,
No.
no, no. So yeah, sorry about my I've only got a pencil and I'm not yeah, but so there's the robot and he's walking around the city and he's thinking everyone's having a great time in these coffee shops. So he goes in and he gets some coffee and then he realizes he doesn't have a real mouth, but he's got a speaker. So he's like, no coffee then. So he thinks about it and he's like, I guess I'm in the wrong place. Uh, Maybe rather than buying stuff, I can give stuff back. So he walks around the city and he finds an engineer and he gets a coffee grinder built into his head and a spout that makes espressos built into his shoulder and then goes back to work at the coffee shop and gives coffee to other people.
Ah,
That's
amazing.
it.
Thank you. I love that.
Final bit was a little thought bubble going out of someone's head and thinking more positively and positive thoughts leading to positive change in the city and bringing people together. Very, very wholesome type thing.
Definitely. Anyone else that would like to share? No? Thank you.
I don't really be able to see mine because I'm also using pencil. Yeah.
Yeah.
I put like, because I recently moved to a new town, so I was like, I need to actually, where I used to live, I didn't have a garden. I just had a balcony and we didn't really do anything with it. So I was like, I could actually like grow some plants and like learn how to grow vegetables or like have stuff for like birds and bees and things and actually do a little bit to help in that way.
I was trying to see if there is anyone in the chat or something.
It was just putting in the chat that the story of the robot was heartwarming. I think that was the last thing that we got in there. Thank you, Ines. I really enjoyed making my Z. And thinking about the city as well. We've not done a workshop so far in the program where we've been encouraged to kind of think about our surroundings and think about how we might occupy space differently or um, kind of be encouraged to yeah think and consider the environments that we live in. So thank you very much for bringing your prompts and bringing your ideas. Um, yeah, and I'm looking forward to sharing this workshop recording with people, and hopefully they can make their own zines at home as well and follow the examples that you've set. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, I think like we wake up every day, and you know everyone has their own thoughts about the place we live in, but I don't think we actually share or talk about it. You know, we might just say to a friend, "Oh, I'm so annoyed about this and this garden, and we don't have green enough in our town," and we can actually make some changes, and we can actually voice what we think about it. You know, more than people think. Especially working as a volunteer in charity, there's so much things we can actually be doing and contributing towards. Yeah.
Mm. I think end things on. So thank you everyone for taking part, and I hope you have some lovely little zines in front of you. And if you're about next week will be our last zine workshop, and we have a combination of zine making and tarot, which sounds really exciting. So if you're about, please do sign up for it. But enjoy the rest of your evenings, and hopefully see you next time. Take care. Bye bye. Perfect. Well done.
How was it?